Hey, Blue Table fans, Shawn here. I just picked up my brand new Dwarf Army book this weekend, and I've spent some quality time with it. Today I'm going to do a preliminary review. Hopefully there will be some follow-ups here. I am at my house. It is a beautiful afternoon. It's been a very mild winter in Utah. And today is kind of like light sweater day. It's a clean and wash your car day. That is what I'm going to do as soon as I'm done with this. So now, just a quick note for those of you that follow Blue Table Painting. Blue Table Painting is doing extremely well. We are currently really busy taking care of current orders, and we are excited to set up new projects. At the time of this taping, you can set up a new project by emailing projects@bluetablepainting.com. We have a whole team of consistent and experienced artists to take care of your miniatures assembly and painting needs. Blue Table Painting is reliable and secure. We have finished over 7,000 projects and have, unless I've missed something notable, we have a 100% completion rate, and all outstanding projects are on their way to being completed right now. We finish about, this time we finish about 800 or 900 projects per year. We're extremely organized, and we have the resources of 10 years of painting armies at your disposal, both in terms of physical resources and also experience. So let's talk about the Dwarf Army book. First off, I have always been an elf player myself, so dwarfs are not my fave, although I do like them. In fact, I like every Warhammer Fantasy army. They all excite me to one degree or another. So I'm just shutting the door to my office. There. Okay, so today I'm not going to talk about the runes, but the runes are back, and that was a big deal. It used to be you'd get like maybe 20 or 30 magic items in an army book, and now the magic items are kind of like they're by the wayside. You don't find out the insane combos and then pursue that. They just have some generic stuff, and that's how it goes. However, with the dwarfs, oh boy, you get a ton of runes. Probably, I don't know, I'm going to say at least 50. And they can go, just like the old book, they can go on the war machines, they can go on your heroes, your armor, your weapons, your whole banners. It's really, really cool, and I would say the runes are a really big part of the dwarf army. And quite frankly, I thought they were gonna go away, but no, they are here, and they look pretty awesome. I haven't really looked them over too much though. All right, so let's talk about the Dwarf Army book in general. First off, my preliminary scan is 2 thumbs way up. They look like a lot of fun to play. Excuse me. Just got a little tickle there. Alright, so first off, let's talk about Army special rules. Ancestral Grudge. So, as far as I can tell, every single unit in the Army has this special rule. In fact, yeah, I'm going to say every single unit has the Ancestral Grudge special rule. And what you do is you roll a d6 at the beginning of the game, and on a 1 or a 2, your general has hatred against the opposing general. On a 3 or 4, friendly characters have hatred against all characters from the enemy army. And on a 5 or a 6, they've got a, quote, score to settle, unquote. And that is all friendly models have the hatred special rule against all models in the enemy army. Now this is interesting because a special rule that's army-wide, like the High Elves always strikes first, or at least it used to be that. It meant that all the guys in the army had that advantage. So theoretically, it was somehow put into the points cost. Or because all armies have some kind of special rule to them, it just kind of all evens out. But what's weird is with the dwarfs, you gotta roll for it. But you gotta admit, army-wide hatred on a 5-up, that's pretty awesome. And that's not the only rule that they have all around. Let's keep going. Dwarf crafted means is a weapon thing, and hold on, let's see who has that. Yeah, I don't think a lot of stuff has this, but anyway, you don't suffer a -1 penalty to hit when performing stand and shoot. In fact, let's take a look. Let's just take a look at the core units that are ranged, which is the Thunderers and Quarrelers. Let's see if they have that now. Here we go. Ironbreakers, Hammers. There it is. Yeah, it does not say that they have that, so it's probably not all that common to have that special rule. Thunderers. Yeah, I don't think they have that. Let's see, Iron Drakes. By the way, I'm getting to the Iron Drakes. That's a new kit that they have out, and I love them. I think the Iron Drakes are where it's at. Hold on, I'm looking up the Iron Drakes here. There it is, just to see if they have. Yeah, they have Dwarf crafting, so that's pretty cool. All right, let's keep going. I got distracted there. Okay, they have Resolute and Relentless. Resolute gives +1 strength during a turn that they charge, which I do believe that's new. That's kind of like the Choppa special. And by the way, that is really good. Now, of course, you got to consider that, dwarfs only have movement 3, but with the new charge rules for 8th edition, where you add 2d6, so, 2d6 plus 3, that's almost as good as 2d6 plus 4, and 2d6 plus 5 for elves. So it's not that big of a deal that their movement is chopped. So Relentless means they don't have to pass a leadership test in order to march. That's like it used to be, but again, with the low movement and rerolls, it's not a huge advantage, but it's nice. Shield Wall. Now, I love Shield Wall. They get +1 to their parry, and they get it even if they're engaged in close combat. Now, when you're looking at a new army book, you got to look at synergy. So sometimes synergy can come from a character, a magic item, a banner, something where one thing kind of stacks on the other thing. And here it is, an Oath Stone, which can be had by your generic martial, lord, or hero. I do believe a Thane or a Lord is what they're called. Yep, that's right. They can have an Oath Stone. Pretty cheap. Costs about the same as a couple of infantry guys. So if you have an Oath Stone, there's some downsides to it. One is you can't flee as a charge reaction. Not that big of a deal. And the guy with the Oath Stone has to always accept a challenge. So there's that. But the Oath Stone, and by the way, I think you're going to see a lot of Oath Stones, and here's why. Because they cannot be disrupted, and they can make parry to their flanks and rear. So that's kind of a big deal, if you ask me. So that's the old, beset upon all sides thing. So a Shield Wall, back to Shield Wall, you get, if you're charged, you get a +1 to your parry save, just for that one turn. So that's a pretty big deal. It ain't no Phoenix Guard, as I was hoping. So okay, excuse me for clearing my throat there. I don't really have a cough button on this thing. All right, so but who has Shield Wall? Almost everything in core. So it's a very common ability. In fact, Hammers, Ironbreakers, Yeah, yeah, pretty much. So that's pretty cool. However, they have two special abilities that are mutually exclusive. You never get them both on the same turn, and that is the Resolute, which they only get if they charge, and Shield Wall, which they'll only get if they are charged. So so there's that. But it's nice. There's nothing wrong, and as far as I can tell, there's really no price increases in here, and it gives them a lot more character. So big thumbs up for that one. There. Dwarf handguns. Oh, here it is. No. Dwarf handguns, crossbows, pistols. Yeah, it's all dwarf crafted. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, there's a lot of things with that then. It was just in the equipment and not in the actual army book. Not going to talk a lot about the heroes. I did notice that Master Engineers have a special called Stand Back, Sir, which means they can do a Lookout, Sir if they're within 3 inches of a war machine, and they transfer the hit to the war machine. So that's what allows engineers to kind of be out in the open, because I don't think they can actually join war machines, and I think that's how they got around it. If they're within 3 inches of a war machine, they can get some protection there. Okay, so Quarrelers now. Okay, so let's look at our core. Because you guys know I'm a fan of core units. I think that really defines the character of the army. So the Dwarfs have, as far as I can tell, the same stat line as always. They're 8 points a model. So that's nice. You can get shields for 1, great weapons for 2. So now you're talking 11 points tricked out. But they do get shield wall. They get ancestral grudge. Which is really nice. And then they get Relentless and Resolute. Now, if you compare those to Quarrelers or Thunderers, effectively, a Quarreler and a Thunderer just adds the ranged weapon for 4 points. That is the difference. They may as well have just said Dwarf Warriors, can take handguns, and because they don't. Really, that's basically it. For the 4 points, you get a dwarf crossbow or a dwarf handgun. So, arguably, that's the way to run it. Now, if you watch my video on generic Warhammer Fantasy Army composing, I say that you need 2 big blocks right in the middle. And if I were doing this, it would be really tempting to just spread out my. It'd be tempting just to spread out my core points on Thunderers and have hold on, a Thunderer. Yeah, because the Thunderers can take shields. They can't take great weapons. The Quarrelers can take great weapons. What the heck? Hold on. I need to open Army Builder because I gotta look at the stats of Chaos Warriors here. Okay, so all right. Longbeards. So Longbeards are 4 points more, and but they get Strength 4, Weapon Skill 5. Now that means on the charge, these guys would have Strength 5. And if they had great weapons, they'd have Strength 7. So that got out of hand quickly. All right, let's take a look at, because Chaos Warriors are kind of like the gold standard for core units, basically. I mean, Chaos Warriors are ridiculous. I mean, just what the heck. And quite frankly, I don't think the Dwarf Infantry is going to stand up to the standard of ye olde Chaos Warrior. So they do have higher leadership. A Chaos Warrior is 14 points, but they have 2 attacks and 5 initiative. Other than that, they have the same stat line as Dwarf Elite guys, because Dwarf Elite guys have Weapon Skill 5 and Strength 4, Toughness 4. So Chaos Warriors, and the Chaos Warriors also have a 4-up armor save, so that's kind of ridiculous. So it's a tough call. The smaller base size is a slight advantage there, so they can get more guys in their frontage. So yeah, if it were me, I might be tempted to take one giant block of Iron Drakes, because let's just talk about the Iron Drakes. They're in rare. They've got the elite dwarf stat line, which is so Space Marine strength and toughness. Weapon skill 5 is awesome. They get a 4-up. They get a 4-up armor save from Gromril armor, and their armor also gives them a. Hold on, I'm looking for the Iron Drakes. Their Gromril armor gives them a 6-up ward save. So awesome. So they don't need a parry, which they don't have anyway. And they got a 2-up against flaming stuff. Which, by the way, that flaming banner, which is awesome because it takes away regeneration, boy, there's a lot of stuff where it sucks to have that against it now. Notably, Dragon Princes, and now these guys. So 2-up ward save, that don't get into combat with those guys. So the Drake gun, oh man. Oh, and by the way, the models for these guys are ridiculous. The new Longbeards, I don't know what kit those guys come in, but they are gorgeous. One big difference about the Dwarf models now is you can see their shins. See a little bit of their shins, and so I don't know, but it seems like they're just a little bit taller. So, which I think is okay. Yeah, you can kind of see their feet. They're not so Wow, these models are so amazing. Yeah, the Longbeards are ridiculously cool. Oh my gosh, these models are to die for. They look so amazing. Oh my gosh, they look absolutely amazing. And quite frankly, just from a modeling standpoint, that's where I would go with my core. I would go Longbeards, because that is fantastic. So big ol' unit of Longbeards, or 40 Thunderers to do like a gun line. And by the way, that works really well. There's a lot there, because they're not -1 to shoot, to stand and shoot. That is tough, guys. That is just brutal. So yeah, the Longbeards. Oh, big yikes for those guys. Shield Wall, Old Grumblers. They make units within 6, like reroll panic, something like that. They're immune to psychology. They get ancestral. Everything has ancestral grudge. I don't even know why I say it. So yeah, pretty elite stat line. So not too bad. Not too bad. They're very Chaos Warrior-esque, except for the only 1 attack, which is standard for the game. And then 2 initiative. So, but the Longbeards can take a runic standard up to 50 points. Oh my gosh, I haven't even looked at what those are. Let me just skim it and see if there's anything good that would be like ridiculous. So if it were me, I'd take like 30 Longbeards and 20 Iron Drakes as my center line. Okay, yeah, the Iron Drakes have their thing is 18-inch range. Strength 5 armor piercing, so -3. Dwarf crafted flaming and quick to fire. So quick to fire, I can't remember what that does. So oh, honey, no, I'm recording right now. Oh, honey. Okay, and go have Mom take a look at that. Go have Mom take a look. You're okay. You're okay. All right. Okay, so yeah, the Iron Drakes are ridiculous. They look cool, they've got a cool name, they do a cool thing. Trifecta. Of course, you've got, let's move on, special units, Hammerers. Hammers cost slightly more. They have the Kingsguard special rule. Oh my gosh, what is that? Any member of the unit can accept a challenge as long as the general is in the unit. That's awesome. Oh my gosh. You could just keep like this huge creature at bay, just like every turn, just feed him whatever it is. So, oh, sweetheart. Okay, hold on. Let's go. All right, I'll be right back. Come on. Tam? was fun. Yeah, I really got to do this on one take, guys, so I'm sorry. All right, let's continue. Okay, so hammers have great weapons, hand weapon, heavy armor. They can take shields, not so good. That only gives them a save against ranged if they're going to, you know, save against ranged if they're going to use their great weapons in close combat. Okay, banner runes. Now, these guys can take up to a 75-point banner. So if you make these your heavy hitters, and by the way, they have new models out for them. So, let's see here. The champ can take a runic weapon up to 25. So, let's see here. They've got one is stubborn. And makes all dwarfs within 12 inches stubborn. That's awesome. That's a master rune at 75. Master rune of Stromny Redbeard gives +1 to the combat result score, and +1 to the combat result score of all other friendly dwarf units within 12 inches. Well, I wonder if that's cumulative. So, well, no, I don't think it is, because you just do one combat result. Valaya gives +2 bonus on all attempts to dispel. Oh, and dwarves have +2 just standing there, even because they have no wizards. So that's great. In fact, I'd call Master Rune of Valaya a must-take, because that would give them the equivalent of a +4 wizard dispelling, and you really do need that. So Master Rune of Grungni. So 5+ ward against wounds caused by shooting, and also to any friendly units within 6 inches of the bearer. That's pretty awesome. Runes of Battle, these stack. So +1, +2, or hold on. Oh my gosh! At 125 points, the Rune of Battle gives you fight in extra ranks and +2 to your combat res, but 125 points, yikes. Okay, so we're talking about how the hammers could be ridiculous. So Rune of Slowness, Rune of Sanctuary, that gives magic resistance. Stoicism gives stubborn, so that's not bad. That's only 35. That's what I would do. I'd do Stoicism. All right. Anyway, hammers, iron breakers. Iron breakers have Shield Wall of Gromril, which gives them the +1 to their parry save every single turn. Alright, so, and then miners, slayers. Slayers have like this death blow thing, like this suicide attack if they're killed, which is great in the new edition because, you know, you can kill all these frontline guys, but, you know, if the unit's big enough, they all just attack back. So in this case, even if they die, well, guy, how does that work? Alright, I'm going to have to read that again. Alright, so basically they got cannons, bolt throwers, grudge throwers, which is basically like a stone thrower now. But they can each take up to 100 points of runes, so your war machines can probably be insane at this point. Organ gun, flame cannon. Now we're into rare, of course. Okay, so let me talk about the gyrocopter. So yeah, obviously there's going to be a lot of these sold. That's all I gotta say. First off, if you have the old gyrocopter, go ahead and just take that out back and sledgehammer it, because the new model is incredibly cool, and it's just ridiculously awesome. Okay, so the gyrocopter is 80 points. It's in special. You can take up to 6 of them, so they break the whole system, allowing you to take double the number of gyrocopters. So that's like, please buy more gyrocopters. And I gotta tell you, these are gonna be really tough to deal with. Oh my gosh, what the heck. Like seriously, if somebody had 6 of these, you could probably blow up any unit in one run if they all went for the same unit. And here's why, because of the steam gun. And by the way, you can upgrade the steam gun to a brimstone gun, which I think is like, I'm sorry, I've been known to be wrong. So I'm ready to be wrong, guys. But the brimstone gun is not awesome compared to the steam gun, because even though it has 18-inch range, strength 5, armor piercing, multiple shots, it still is not going to cover 20 guys. It's not going to auto-hit 20 guys. So would you rather hit one guy at strength 5, or would you rather hit 20 guys at strength 3? And I think we all know the answer to that. And so basically the steam gun, yeah, it's strength 3 armor piercing, but as far as I can tell, you can just keep using it over and over again. It's not a breath weapon. And so let's see here. And they can drop bombs, which is strength 3 armor piercing. And that is... so it's basically against... it's like a stone thrower shot against something that you have... no, wait a minute. No. You don't even use the template. You roll an artillery dice, and that's how many hits. So if you can... So you could move over an enemy unit, turn, hit them with the steam gun, and also do the dive bomb attack. So you can. So the dive bomb happens first because it happens during the remaining moves. So you're talking about 4 to 6 hits, strength 3 armor piercing, and then. Oh, I'm sorry. If a gyrocopter dive bombs, it cannot make any other shooting attacks in that turn. Yeah, I don't know why you would want to do that instead of the steam gun. But I'm sure it comes in handy sometimes. Alright, helps to actually read it. So the gyro bomber, it just has to pass over things. But you know what I found? It is very hard to pass over enemy units. Quite frankly, I think the massed steam gun thing, where... Because if you got hit with 3 steam guns, that would be like 60 hits. Hits! Not like, yet now you have to roll 2 hit. Now just go to wound. So let's say you had some Chaos Warriors. Let's take a big unit. So a unit of 21 Chaos Warriors, and let's say just because of the big base size and the fact that they're probably only in 3 ranks, let's just say you're going to hit 15 per gyrocopter. Oh, and by the way, you could easily, if you got up on the side, you could easily hit all 21 of them. Yep, let's see, 7. Yeah, actually, you could. Yep, you could do that. Okay, so anyway, because you can get precise positioning with these guys. So anyways, but let's just call it 15 for the sake of argument. So that's 45 hits. That's 15 wounds. And that's 5 guys. Yeah, that's not too bad. That's not destroying. That's like 5 Chaos Warriors dead. That's not bad, but it's not the end of the world. Okay, so now against Skaven, let's go to the other end of the spectrum. So oh no, it's -1 to the thing. So yeah, it's 7 or 8 guys killed because of armor piercing. That's Chaos Warriors with shields. So that's actually pretty good. Now, if you had now think about this. If you had 6 gyrocopters, which would cost 480 points, so not too bad of an investment for a 2,500 point army. So if you had that many, you could get 6 times. Well, you'd be thinning them out every time, so you'd get maybe 60, 70 hits. So against the Chaos Warriors, you're talking about, yeah, that's going to thin that unit out pretty good. All right, and then assuming how you positioned them, they could really only charge 1 gyrocopter, assuming they were even in the front, you know, because you could go if you could fly over a unit. Yeah. Sorry guys, you're going to have gyrocopters in your army, which is great news because it's a great model. Absolutely great. I would do definitely 6 of them because that's cool. The gyro bomber is really the only way it can attack is to fly over things, except the clatter gun, which is 4 shots, quick to fire, strength 4, armor piercing. So that's not bad. But I gotta tell you, I'm loving that steam gun. So let's take 3 gyrocopters against a fatty old unit of Skaven. So I'm going to say 25 hits per gyro. So you got 75 hits. You're going to have 38 wounds, and pretty much no saves, or maybe 1/6 of them, depending on what their armor is. So about 30 guys are going to be gone. So the gyros working in teams can really thin out an enemy army like you just absolutely would not believe. So anyway, gonna give the gyrocopter a big old thumbs up all around. No problems there. So in rare, because you got to look at your rare points are pretty scarce. Rangers are in rare. I don't know if that's how it used to be, but the Rangers, I guess they're just keeping around just because the Rangers are jack of all trades, master of none, which means they're not that helpful. Organ gun, flame cannon are in there, and they can take runes, only 50 points each. Iron Drakes, boom! Iron Drakes, awesome. Gonna give the Iron Drakes a big thumbs up. Definitely, so much fun to play. And you know, they remind me of the Hellglaives of the Chaos Dwarfs. Hold on a second, be right back. All right, folks. It is time. That is all I have to say about the Dwarf book. I thank you all for tuning in. Blue Table Painting is now in its 10th year and going strong. Absolutely fantastic. It gets a little easier every month that goes by, which allows us to take on a lot of fun new projects. Although we're very conservative with those types of moves. I enjoy talking to the fans. I've thought of actually doing like some kind of live webcast type of thing, just for kicks, very informal. Don't know who would want to show up for that, but it could be some fun. And definitely want to get in more games. I'm up to my neck in the nuts and bolts operation of the studio right now. And it's actually been kind of tough to get games in. All right, folks. Daylight is a wasting, and thanks for tuning in.